Okay.
We good?
Okay.
Yeah. It's live.
It is live. Well, not live, but it's
Mostly live.
mostly
Yeah.
live.
Okay.
The camera is running. The Recorder's going.
Recording.
we good.
Okay.
And so, welcome back to another episode of Yo Check It.
What's up?
What's happening? Today we got a special guest.
We have a lovely guest, Marissa.
Hi. Hi, guys. I'm Marissa.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And-
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, it's a little odd because you gotta talk to the camera and
Yeah.
you gotta talk to us.
Yeah.
So,
My first time, so I'm like,
yeah.
what's up, guys? Hey, everybody.
Well, I guess just tell a little bit. We're gonna get deep into Marissa's story in a bit here, but tell us a little bit about yourself without
Yeah.
giving out too much in the beginning.
Okay, definitely. So I just turned 30. I have lived in the area, Gardnerville area. I graduated in 07. Moved up to Reno, so I know the area. I am currently dancing. I go to the Reno Empire. That's kind of how I know Jarek,
know.
sorta. So
I know
he
a
does
few
some-
of your friends.
Yeah, so in the creative kind of setting, we all kind of individually meet each other, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just go to the Reno Empire. I'm on the ladies heels team right now, so come check us out one of these times. But I mean, that's
Yo.
kind of what I did mostly. And then I work, I sell legal cannabis at Reef, so that's kind of what I do most of the days. Just checking that out, so smoking and dancing, I guess.
That sounds
Am
Am I
Sounds
allowed to
super
say
chill.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
That sounds
It's legal.
pretty cool.
It's legal. I'm
It's legal
selling-
in Nevada.
I'm selling it legally, so
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Now, if you were saying I'm selling on a DL, hit me up. Hold on. What?
But you can come see me.
She's a legal dealer. Check it
Yeah.
out. But yeah, let's get into the segment. How's your week, man?
It was pretty cool. I went to a pretty cool wedding last Saturday. It was really fancy.
Like
Shout out to Curtis and Jen. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you two. I was not there,
Congrats.
but
It was like a
I
crazy
saw
rich
pictures.
Asians.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't, but
Oh.
I've seen the
yeah,
snippets
but
and it looks
their wedding reception was holy crap.
it
It was 400 people in there.
Oh,
That's
that's
intense.
huge.
Yeah.
that's
Or-
a lot of people.
I don't know.
fantastic.
Probably I'm just estimating, but it was pretty big.
Did he get a wedding planner, or what's the deal with that?
I have no idea. I didn't see any wedding planner, but it was fancy, dude. It's probably the fanciest wedding I've been. I was I'm impressed.
If it's that big, I'm hoping they had a planner because that's a lot of stress for the family.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right? Oh,
they
man.
had a tree of it's an ice sculpture. It was pretty big too. I
Oh,
was
that's what that
That's
was. That
expensive.
picture you said?
Yeah.
Oh
That
man,
is
I
so
thought that was.
expensive.
I literally thought it was a prop.
No, it was an
Girl.
actual ice, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they
dang.
Yeah.
chisel and stuff with their saws.
And it was pretty
Oh.
big too. That was cool. But yeah, that was my weekend. How was yours, man?
Well, I just came back from a music festival down in San Diego. I got to check out. I got to go visit one of the best friends, Andrew. Shout out to him.
Nice.
But yeah, I went to go check out a couple of artists. Crosses. It was probably one of my very first music festivals I've ever gone to, and then going back to it now, I don't know. It's just not the same for me. But I think it's just because
Because you've been going to a lot of music festivals.
maybe, but also it's just because I don't know. My heart wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm jealous. I have not been to one, and I'm really excited to go to one. So
music festivals are fun. I
Oh.
mean, it really depends. If you're going with I go with family, not family. Sorry. Well, technically they are kind of family, but I go with friends and family, and we go out there and we just enjoy the music and eat some good food. So I would go check it out.
my favorite.
Yeah. How's your weekend?
Mine?
Yeah.
I know. Well, today I just moved into my new apartment, so this kind of
Nice.
this episode is just makes it a little bit better that I did that this morning, just because of what we're going to talk about. So it's been a long time running, and
It's pretty stressful moving, huh?
it is, but because we don't have anything, it only took us
Well,
a
that
half
makes
an
it
hour.
easy. That makes it
So
a lot easier.
Everything's super empty, and it's like a townhouse, so upstairs and downstairs. The bedrooms are upstairs, and then the
that's cool.
downstairs is kind of going to be the dog area. I mean, it's the living room, but
Oh,
we're going to
nice.
section a little spot off. And I already looked on Amazon for a ton of stuff. I already picked out dishes, and I'm
Nice.
gonna drop a good amount of money on that. But so that was just kind of, I've been just stressed out, having anxiety at work, just hoping that it goes by fast, you know?
Yeah.
So it finally got here, and I was like, zen moment. It was just quiet, and me, my boyfriend, and my brother, because that's who it is with. We're just kind
Okay.
of standing in there, and we're like, finally, this is like we can breathe for a second.
That's cool. Well,
So-
congrats on your new apartment.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But that's about it, I think.
Yeah. So we're gonna start our first segment. We're gonna ask you 2 questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
So do you want to ask one?
Yeah.
You remember the questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember this one.
He's on.
Okay.
I hope it's that one.
Okay, go ahead, dude.
Well, we'd like to know what are some of your guilty pleasures. Or you could just tell us one, but what is a guilty pleasure for you?
Let's see. I eat snacks really late and watch anime. so I'll eat
Okay.
like tons of cookies and then like I'll just find something and sometimes I'll even run to Jack in the Box and then like come back to watch my fairy tale or
Ooh,
Oh,
I'm actually
okay.
watching
Yeah.
Fairy Tale right now too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's the last season, so I'm a little bummed out.
Oh, I'm
but-
not that caught up, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, he's
Oh.
behind.
Well,
but
there's more. There's gonna be more. I
Oh,
can't tell you
me?
more. I can't tell you more,
Okay,
but there's
don't
gonna be
tell-
more.
Okay, cool.
There's gonna be more. I promise. It's kind of good that this next part of their journey, but I won't tell you much about that.
That's cool.
What you guys want to watch is Demon Slayer, though. Let me tell you.
Demon Slayer. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
have
just
not
came out.
seen that one.
It's really good. Like, I can't say much. There's just the first season just ended last Saturday, so
Okay.
Nice,
got a whole
nice.
At least I can
26
binge watch
videos.
one. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm also watching like Black Clover and
Ooh,
like
Black Clover.
oh, so good,
So good, right?
But like on Hulu, like it cut off like a couple in between, and now I'm like I stopped because I'm just bummed out. I don't want to skip some, so I'm
Yeah.
like waiting to like buy
I'm pretty
the second
caught up
season.
on like Black Clover, the anime. So like,
I don't
I'm
even know
just
where to
waiting
start.
For a
To be honest, okay, so I finished watching Demon Slayer, and I was like, what am I gonna watch next? Then I started watching One Punch Man,
Yeah.
and then I finished that. Like, I was like, oh man, like
You
I need something
recently
else to
just
watch.
watched that?
Yeah, I literally just watched the whole season
He's
last
funny.
night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
It's
funny
so good,
character.
right?
It's
Yeah.
good.
He's
Yeah,
just super nonchalant. I
Yeah.
love when he was saying something about like the sales or something.
yeah.
He's
like-
like first season.
he's like, this is kind of expensive. Do you got anything cheaper? He's like, get out of my way. I'm just trying to shop. Like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm rewatching My Hero Academia just so I
Ooh.
can get
That was
be ready
good.
for
Season 4.
season 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
weeks.
Me and my boyfriend are also. Is it 2 weeks?
It's 2
okay,
weeks.
see, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm like
so
really
like
excited.
I guess I have to finish watching the rest of it until season 4.
Ah.
Yeah, just so I can like, refresh my memory on what that is. Yeah.
I think that's some of it, and then I love reading fantasy. Like right now, I'm reading like a series from Dungeons and Dragons. So
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
she's a nerd,
I'm a
dude.
total nerd. and
Are you
I'm,
a
like,
gamer girl, too?
dancing. I used to be.
Ah, okay,
But I think that was more like during my depressed time.
You know-
I was like just video gaming like for hours a
I'm
day.
always
but
surprised when like, because like I don't see you as like a nerdy like.
I know that's
Yeah.
what makes it so much better because people see an outside image, and this is kind of perfect because that's kind of what the segment's also about. Is just judging people by the book, and I don't know. It's just people don't think that about me, so I like
That's
to
cool.
break barriers, and I like to, I don't like
Yeah.
stereotypes. I don't like people
Yeah.
when you put people into a box.
Break it down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Yeah. You never know. Don't judge a book by its cover.
that's right. That's what I was trying to say.
Because you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. But I mean, that's a like a double-bladed, sword, because you never know. Some people look nice, but
I
yeah,
know.
watch out for those kind of
Look
people.
at our White House.
So
So
Yeah.
you just never know,
just never know.
And our second question is, what's your current obsession?
Oh, dancing, definitely
Dancing.
dancing. Like from the moment I got back into Reno, I hit up the studio owners, Brittany and Monique. I love you guys, the Reno Empire. So I open the studios on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then try to go Tuesdays, but it's kind of like my only day off. So I've been
Nice.
skipping that, but that is definitely I try to put that into my life almost every single day.
That's
There was
cool.
a good period of time like where I took like almost 8 years off of dancing, was in a bad relationship, I was taking like Xanax and lorazepam and like these painkillers and just like medicating myself, and so I got away from my dancing. So for like the last 2.5 years, I've just really dedicated my time to like my dancing and like my art, reading, writing. I do poetry, and hopefully creating this new video and maybe this being a new adventure. This is obviously my first podcast, and it's maybe in a little bit serious topic or maybe
Yeah.
embarrassing, but hope to like do more things that I love and just enjoy this year. I'm 30, so I want to like just try
Hey.
different new things, and I'm like, I want to show people that you don't have to give up on like your dreams and stuff like that just because you took like a break or something. And I think some of the people around this time are like kind of coming out of that medication fog, because there was a lot of people like I think in the same span period that were taking a ton of pills and like yeah, I just hope to maybe bring health and awareness. And I'm Native American, so I would love to also bring that up because I know that there's things going on in the world, like our world dying and stuff like that. And and I would love to help with that and like creating programs that might even help people out later on that's gone through the thing that I've gone through that we're going to talk about. So yeah, I just think it's going to be a good year. And
That's cool.
thank you guys
I
so
mean,
much for like having me. I'm really excited about this year and like just maybe our new friendship and stuff like that. So
Oh,
We're
well,
excited.
we're glad to have you on. And, you know, I like that. I like, you know, like we're at that stage in our life where it's just like, you got to be proactive in things that some people are just not really looking at.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite crazy. There's a lot of things out there in this world that people tend to just not see because there's a party scene out there, and a lot of people like to party often. But you know what? Like when the partying's done, you know, it's back to business. You got to make sure that, you know, you're doing things that is good, not just for you, not just for others, but for the world itself.
yeah, absolutely. And I think we can do it, guys. I think we can do it. Just start now.
Start now.
Exactly.
Amazon rainforest. Just saying.
Help
Yeah.
us.
All right. Water break.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm like sweating. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. You know, it's.
No, it's just the
You're
like
just nervous?
Don't be nervous.
I know.
You want us? I mean, it's cold outside, so I mean, you get that cold air.
Little crisp air, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
But yeah, well, the reason why I wanted to invite you into our podcast is because we wanted to talk about what it's like being homeless. Because, like, I have no idea what it's like. I mean, like, you know, aside from, like, the general stuff that I know, like, obviously, but, like, I feel like there's a lot of deeper story into it.
Yeah.
And, like, not, like, all, I guess, homelessness is, like, the same.
yeah, definitely. There's
So-
definitely different levels of poverty and homelessness, and we totally were engaged in this environment that me and my boyfriend have never really dealt with, like individually, not like not having a home. Like we've had problems like that, but not living in our car. And that's what this is about, is literally us living in our car. So
Gotcha. So
Right.
if y'all are just catching up with us right now, the topic of this podcast is, you know, being homeless and the struggles of. I mean, it's kind of crazy because I see it's prominent in our world. I just came back from. I see it here in Reno. I just came back from San Diego, and you know, you see these people struggling out there, and you know, maybe they did it to their nose. Maybe there were circumstances that they couldn't overcome, and like, no matter the reason, homelessness is a pretty big topic to talk about.
yeah, definitely. So like even though this last year, so we became homeless last February. So we'll start there because it's kind of big. I'll just give a little breakdown. So we've lived in Reno for many, many years. I've been here since 2007. Me and my boyfriend have been together. It'll be 4 years in November. And we've kind of had this problem moving around place to place. So we decided to move to Washington and rent out a house from his brother. His brother and his wife are in the Navy. They just had a kid at this time. He was like almost one, I think. So we pack everything up, you know, and even getting that mindset to like leave to Washington. I've never left Nevada. So I've been here since I was 5 years old. So even for me to like mentally be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I love my boyfriend. His name is Kaz. Hi, honey. Yeah, just to get that and just like throw away a bunch of stuff, get rid of like a huge furniture because it's like so expensive to move out of state. So all we did was pack up our Chevy Malibu and our little Isuzu pickup. Our little pickup didn't even have the little back on it yet. So we basically got rid of everything. We had my bed and like this huge mirror, my dancing mirror. It's like this wall size. And so we get to Washington and we just had to stay with his sister-in-law because his brother was still deployed somewhere. So this we only had to spend 2 months with her in Washington, okay? And her and her husband were being stationed in Hawaii for the next 3 years. They are currently there now. So like after right away we had problems. Like she didn't want us bringing our stuff into the house because her stuff was there, and we're like, well, it's raining,
Yeah.
it's our only bed, can we put it in the shed or something? And she's basically said no. She would say yeah, and then like every time I'd ask her for the keys for this shed, she'd be like, oh, they're not, I don't know where they're at, things like that. So right then we already had some kind of disconnect, and I was angry, obviously. And then within a week, like we came up there and like we had gotten sick, like just moving to a different area, and like we had already had like a little sickness. She asked us after a week if we could go back to Reno for 2 months after we are out of our apartment. We have all of our stuff, and I'm like, is this chick for real? Like
your brother or your boyfriend's brother's wife.
Yes. So
Straight up telling you that she doesn't want you there. Like, what?
yeah, so she was already uncomfortable with the fact that we were going to be there because we were going to be renting the house out for like $1,200, and she was like, well, I don't even know why Jesse is the husband. I don't even know why Jesse wanted to do this, because we had other renters that were going to pay like $1,600 or $1,800,
What?
So in her mind, she was already mad that she was losing out on money or whatever it may be, and she felt like Jesse was throwing this on her and like had to take care of us or something. And I'm like, we're grown adults and we could do this. And then she did have a new baby, which was totally fine. We were very respectful, always kind of kept to ourselves because I was sick. I stayed in the room, and she didn't want us getting this baby sick. And what's funny is that she would hand the baby over to Kaz because it's his nephew. And so he'd hang out with him every day. And I'm like, dude, he's sick too. Like, so it was just like these weird, small, snippy things.
Yeah.
So after 3 weeks into February, she just straight up kicks us out. And I'm like, we can't take any of our stuff, right? And so we only had our Chevy Malibu that we could take at this point. So what we did is we took the whole back seat down, like the part like for this part.
Yeah.
And then we put a tarp underneath it, and then we put like a memory foam mattress in there. So we had our feet like in the trunk, and then like our body like inside the car. Now, thank goodness me and Kaz are pretty short, but I mean, we were sleeping like side to side, like hips together, and then if we turned over, our sides would scrape like in the trunk. And we had our 2 little dogs. So
You had dogs with you too?
we had our
dang.
2 little dachshund dogs with us.
Oh.
And I'm not getting rid of them. I've had them since they were 6 months old,
Yeah.
and they are now 13 years old. So we moved into this house thinking that we're starting this new life, and we had a great life here. Like, I was dancing at the studio. Kaz had a great job. I was selling legal cannabis still back then, and so even for us to like leave that situation was hard enough for us. So now we're here in Washington. It's February. They just had the worst snowstorm ever. Like, it doesn't snow up there or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about the rain. Like, I'm a desert person. So it's like freezing. It's wet. It's moist everywhere. All kinds of stuff. So we knew right away that we had to get gym membership. So we bought that right away. Got the bed stuff, and we got like a little cooker thing, like with the Bunsen inverter, and like a pan. So just in case we needed to cook.
Yeah.
But just being there, we were there all the way up till July dealing with this. So the first few weeks, it was really hard because we were looking for jobs. We would only be able to leave the dogs in the car for a little bit, and we'd be looking for jobs online at like these work source or something. I think that's what it's called. So we found jobs. We eventually get to this area in Redmond, which is kind of crazy. So first time we're ever homeless, and then we end up in this area, which is like a Microsoft town. So these people are like mega rich, like those doors that come up, like Teslas everywhere, like. And so it's just kind of a crazy town. And then like I look up online, like, where do homeless people sleep in their cars? Because they won't let you sleep in your car on the side of the road. And we tried doing it in Seattle, and it was so bad there. Like, it was just really, there was nowhere to pee. That's when you're a woman, and I'm like have to pee all the time. Like, being homeless and having to go to the bathroom is probably number one in like hygiene. And I've never had to deal with this. I'm the type of person that dances and takes like 2 showers a day. So for me, that was really hard. And when I had to pee literally on the streets in Seattle, that was when I was like, okay, we need to find an area outside of Seattle because this is not gonna work. So what we'd do, we'd go around the towns, every town, like and look for the Planet Fitnesses just so we could take showers.
Yeah.
So that's how that worked. We were working full time in Redmond. I was actually a bud tender up there as well at Origins. Hi guys, miss you. I tried baristaing. It's called this cool coffee shop, Mercury's Coffee Shop, which I really liked there, but it's really hard work. I don't want to be a barista. So I was there for a couple months and then started selling legal cannabis, and none of our coworkers knew what was going on. So we'd go to work and then we'd come right back to the car or the truck after we got like the overhang for our truck. We actually put a full twin bed back there, and then we put like Velcro up so that we had curtains and we could just rip them off if we needed to, but we really kept them up. So just like things like that, and finding somewhere to sleep every single night was crazy. Like we weren't used to it. So for the first few weeks, like we would just drive around for hours because we were like didn't feel comfortable in that spot. Like there was always lights. Well, we needed lights on us because it's actually really dangerous for you out there. Like if I was by myself, I don't know what would have happened. They have so many missing people in Washington.
Yeah.
And if you're from like another state, it's so easy to snatch you up and them not know what happened to you. And they have like over 600 people missing, which I want to address as well, because a lot of them are Native American women, and that could have been easily me. And I don't know. It's just really sad to think that that's going on. But so yeah, just having to walk the dog every 2 hours on my break. So 3 days a week out of my 5, I would take the dogs with me to work. Just give them like snacks and stuff, and then walk them on my 2-hour break, and like be shaking all day at work because I was like, oh my gosh, are these dogs about to get taken? You know, and these are my only children. Like, so that kind of stress every day was just tumultuous.
How long was this happening? For
like the span of time like this. So it was from February, and we got back like July 5th to Reno after saving up money. And then like, to be honest, like this weird homeless guy started stalking us. Oh. So like he worked with my boyfriend. He helped him get a job because the program that we found in Redmond is called Safe Parking, which is really cool. That was what I was looking up online. I know I skipped over that. So what they do is in Safe Parking is they had at St. Jude's, it's a church, and you get like a little placard saying you're allowed to be in the parking lot whenever. And it's basically, you can sleep there and just be safe and know exactly where you're going every single night in your car, which I hope to bring that here because I know there's so many people, and we have like winter here, and it's like so freezing. Like I can't imagine like being in the rain and coming home to the car to a soggy bed is like insane. And then just to think people outside are doing that, I'm like mind blown. So we were actually pretty grateful to have our cars and then be working full time. And the thing I was saying is in the safe parking also, they had like this little room where they had a fridge and like a microwave and you could keep food in there, which was cool. And then they had a bathroom that you could use. So for something like that and you're homeless, like that's huge. And there was only like 18 spots open. Yeah. So it's like we have to find something that's bigger, because if there's continuing every year, people are getting homeless because the rent's raising and then they're not paying us enough. And then now you got to live with 3 or 4 different people just to get by. So that's kind of crazy, but.
So is it one of those things where you gotta like go there every day and make sure you get your spot, or is it like you reserve it? Or like,
no, it's like you. So what it is you apply. They do a background check on you to make sure you are, and then it's you're one of the 18 spots. And it's like once you're done or whatever, then there's an open spot for somebody else. So that's what makes it kind of crazy, is that it's not different people. You have to stay there. And there was like a couple people there that were there for more than 6 months. There was a guy there that was two years just sleeping in his car there. Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
We met a lady out there. Her name was Carol, and she'd been in her car for 10 years. And she's like this old woman that she works full time, and she works like with people, like old people and stuff, just helping them.
Yeah.
And we met so many different people like that. And then there was like a community dinner a lot of the time. So the church would make us dinner, and then that would be the one time that we all kind of were grouped up together. And sitting in that environment, I've worked at churches like on the other side of my family, were youth pastors, and we would help the homeless. And now here I am years later sitting there and I'm asking for food. It was just such a surreal moment, and like, don't cry. It was just hard. And then like we were in the parking lot during like Easter, and I remember being in the car, and you have to walk across the parking lot to like go to the bathroom. I just
no worries. Do
you need tissue?
Maybe.
Yeah, there's tissues right there. You can take a quick break. Yeah.
But there, like the whole parking lot was just full, and I was like, I have this video journal.
Yeah.
And just like seeing everybody, I was like so embarrassed to get out of the car. Like I didn't even want to go to the bathroom. And, you know, in my heart, I knew that me and Kaz were not going to go through this forever. But sometimes thinking about all the other people that have to go through that for years and they don't even have anybody, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like it makes me want to help them more. And that's why, you know, I've contacted people and I want to help them out because it's unfair. It's like there should be more help for people. We shouldn't just throw them away. It doesn't make sense because that could be you. There's so many people like right on the line of like they don't have savings and you know if they raise the rent and they don't have it. I mean, who has an extra like 1,500 to 3,000 to move into another place? And like Reno, they're literally building houses because there's not enough room for us.
Yeah.
And then they're tearing down those places downtown for like the people. Like we stayed in the monthly weeklies downtown,
Yeah.
and they're such crap. And it's like for over $1,000 for this tiny little crappy motel room. And it's like you'll never be able to get ahead if you're by yourself, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like so many people are dealing with that alone. And I'm just so grateful to have Kaz like to be there to protect me because there was instances where there were people looking to hurt me, and thank goodness he was there. But you know, I see other women out there by themselves, you know, walking with their bags, and I'm just more aware. Like I was pretty oblivious to this before this happened to me. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you too. Like before this happened to you, like do you have any like um
I had some biases, like if I saw homeless people, you know, I'm like, oh, maybe they were doing drugs or, you know,
yeah, cause like for
yeah,
me
Well, that's
too,
that's
like
like the
that's
immediate thought that people
yeah.
have.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe like he was on, they were doing drugs and then like this is
lost
what happened. Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah, and
But-
that's totally how people think, and
Yeah.
you know,
You
and
just never know though, because like, I mean, I've actually talked to a couple of homeless people here in town, and you know, I've taken the time to like research this kind of things, and it's not just like. So I was on a bus, and there's this guy who was talking to me. He's talking about the stock market, and he was telling me, he's like, look, I invested in all my savings and all my money in stock market, and the stock market crashed, and I lost everything, and I was like, dang, that sucks. And he's like, so he's you know, he was doing what you were doing. He was just trying to get by. I'm not quite sure where he lived, but
Yeah.
you know, he's taking the bus for transportation, trying to get to one side of town to the other, most likely trying to, you know, go to work or whatever he needs to do in order to survive. And it's just, if you don't take a minute to listen to somebody else's story and you immediately think, oh, that person put themselves there because they did drugs. Like drugs is not the automatic, like should not be the automatic response. It should be
Mm-mm.
like, you know, something happened, some circumstances happen. Maybe like there are stories out there where people who had family, they died, but they couldn't afford to keep paying the mortgage of this house or whatever. And it's kind of sad, you know, like so.
super sad. It's so sad. We met so many people. Like we met this one guy that said he'd lived in the same apartment for like years,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden they jumped at like $400, and he didn't have it, you know,
Yeah.
and it pushed him out. And he said he was homeless for many years, and yeah, we just never know. So I just wanted to do this also because yeah, when you see me or my boyfriend walking down the road and we're like buying lunch or whatever and we were homeless, like you wouldn't know. And then we're stuck in this really like utopia
Yeah,
in
'cause I mean,
Redmond.
like the thing is like you look like a regular person, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you don't look like a typical homeless person with, with, like they're pushing like shopping carts and all that.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
there's probably like obviously there's a lot of different levels. So like, homelessness and like you look like a regular person, but you were homeless at some point, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I feel like, yeah, for us, because we're younger, you know, like we knew we were going to be able to work and save up this money, you know.
Mhm.
But there was like this one lady, was so sad. She was older and she had some autoimmune disease, and then she had 2 huge dogs with her, and she came into the program after us for safe parking, and she was straight up alone. And this woman would sit up sleeping in her car, and she loved her dog so much that they would sleep in the back because she had like a van,
Mhm.
and she would like make them comfortable. And this poor woman had the ambulance come many, many times, and like we saw all kinds of weird things. Like a woman died and overdosed in the parking lot. She had a needle in her leg, and
Mhm.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's just like me and Kaz don't do anything like that, and here we are exposed to all these just different things, and you know, still going to work with good attitudes and
Mhm.
still getting things done and saving money, and you know,
Well, that's good that you kept a positive mindset. You know what I'm
we
saying?
tried.
Like some people out there who, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not like judging their books, but like some people, they may not understand how to keep that positivity, that light,
Yeah.
you know, because when you're down, when you're like rock bottom, what do you do then? You know, like
Right.
you got two options: you get up and you go and try and do something about it, or you kind of just sit in there and like try and figure it out slowly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, I feel like a lot of people tend to figure it out a little bit slowly because, uh, once again, talking to somebody, they're like, "Yo, you know, once I hit rock bottom, that's it. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, they didn't have an action plan. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't think about, okay, I need to get a job immediately, or I need to go. Like their first response would probably be to call friends or family, and if they don't have any friends or family, like that, like what's the next step? You know, they
Yeah.
don't have these things planned out. Nobody ever has these things planned out, and so like if it comes to that point, you know, people need to be more aware that these things are happenstance, and like you just never know.
Yeah. And I feel like we need to uplift our people who are having the hardest time because
Yeah.
you just never know when it's going to be you. And it might not be now, but what if you're like older and like you
Mhm.
lose your partners and yeah, exactly. Something happened. So just don't forget about people, you know, just have empathy for people. Try to see it on another side instead of judging right away. Just be like, oh, maybe, you know, maybe there's a reason,
Mhm.
you know? So I just want to bring awareness because there's people out there, they're working full time and there's no option for them to get out of the place. And there's a lot of people like felons and stuff. You can't even get a place around
Mhm.
here without getting help from family members. Most of the apartments, you're not allowed on the property if you have a
Mhm.
felony. Like it's crazy. And you're like, oh, rehabilitation. But now you're creating, not only did they pay for their crimes, now they got to pay for it out here and you wonder why they go back. And it's the system wants them in there. That's
Yeah.
exactly what's happening. I mean, that's why I think we should release people who have ever had any cannabis charges. You know, let's start with some stuff like that and go over this because, you know, sometimes I do feel guilty. Like here I am, I'm able to sell this to people every day, and somebody's sitting in prison right now for the same exact thing that I'm doing legally. And you know, I think CBD products and THC can help a lot with with depression, anxiety, all
Mhm.
kinds of things. And you know, we do have an endocannabinoid system, so this helps like physiological things like your memory, like your appetite, like your mood. And cannabis feeds this, which is
Mhm.
crazy. And I'm really thinking that's why the government wanted to get rid of it because it really does regulate this so that your mind is clear enough to think. Why are they doing this? Why is, you know, this happening? Why don't they raise our money or, you know, whatever it is?
I
And
mean, it'd be beneficial for the government to look back on all these rules that they've instated in the past, mainly due to the fact that there are a lot of things that people have done that are in jail for things that are super legal now,
Mhm.
and they should realize that, you know, like they got that time. Yeah, maybe it was bad, but now that it's like legal, you're just gonna keep this person in here, like,
Yeah, not cool.
you know.
So I'm hoping things change and we take care of our earth, we take care of our bodies, take care of our people, and, you know, just create friendships and, you
Mhm.
know, networking. And, you know, I think having friends, we can create more things to help others. We can't do it by ourselves. And I found that, you know, through this process, like I've have a lot of friends and family and stuff that are willing to help me, and everybody at the studio and stuff has just been like so amazing. And you know, we're checking on us and making sure we're okay. And you know, if I didn't have, you know, I wasn't dancing a few years ago, like I wouldn't have had anybody to even
Mhm.
talk to. And just having my boyfriend and friends and family, that's nice, you know. But I know there's a lot of people that don't, and maybe even helping create this like safe parking program. You know, I would love to be involved with it. I've contacted people like in Action,
Is that what
and
you're doing now?
yeah,
You're trying
so
to build something here?
yeah, I really want to set something up. That's why I want to do this and the documentary and actually move forward to actually do something. I don't want to be that person that, you know, goes through this and doesn't create something because I mean, I feel like there was a reason I went through this. And the reason, like in my mind, I was like, I need to do video journals from the moment this happens because this might help somebody.
Mhm.
I might be able to show somebody, hey, you know, get a gym membership. This might help you a little bit further along, or
Mhm.
if you have the possibility. Because I mean, we were lucky; we had a little bit of money. Kaz's brother felt guilty, so they did give us some money when they kicked us out. But it was like, I mean, we're fucking homeless, you know, like
Yeah.
we don't know anything about Washington, so but yes, I would love to. And there's a woman called Aria that does the Action, and I think she works for like the churches and stuff for
Mhm.
homelessness.
Mhm.
And I was like, maybe we can create this because this is what they do up in Washington because their homeless problem is like crazy. The county that we were in, Redmond, they said there was like over like I don't know 13 or 15,000 people in this small area that were homeless, and
Mhm.
like you can see them walking around, but they're still like pushing people to where you can't hang out anywhere. And it's like, well, where am I supposed to go if I can't even hang out at the parks or the trails, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like they literally want you just to be dead or something, like just out of sight, out of mind type thing. And it's not fair. So if you guys aren't going to let us sit at the parks, you better start creating programs. And if you're not going to do it, maybe some people like us who went through it are going to do it. So,
I mean, create a community where, like, they call it what's called tent city, and
yes, I
those
was
peop-
right by it.
yeah, those people get kicked out, and those cities, like those mini cities, they move around town because they're not allowed to be there. But at the same time, it's just like maybe a community should think about the effects of homelessness. Like, I understand that they're giving out programs that may help these people, or but it's just not enough.
It
There's so many things that a city can do. Like, there's so much city out there. Like, create a small community where that you can help rehabilitate. You can
Yeah.
help build something like that. Alone would create jobs
Absolutely.
for that community. Like, and these people, you know that, like, the struggles that that you had to go through, and just like you said, you have tips and tricks on how to like combat it, and how to get there. And if it's like, if it's drugs, then maybe there's an ability to help people like combat that. And then if it's for others who just down on the luck,
Yeah.
like, there should be steps, there should be ability to help these people,
And there shouldn't be such a long waiting list that you could be lost, like
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
system, like, because there are, things like waiting lists you can wait for, what is it, like Section 8 and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
people like us, we don't have kids. So a lot of the time you don't get a ton of help if you don't have kids.
Yeah.
Like my mother was a single mother and she had 4 kids and we had like Section 8 and she's had food stamps and money. And over the years it's dwindled. Like I don't think they give people as much money and as just much help. And these waiting lists sometimes could take over a year for you to be on. And then at that point, I mean, it might just be too far along. So yeah, if we could even create like 10 cities or tiny homes, even more like in another area, that could possibly help. And we did have one, like, so the safe parking was a different program, and then literally right next to us was a tent city. And so what this program would do is they would literally build an entire tent town, but they would make it nice structures, and they would give them beds and like heaters. And then they had a full long one where it had a full kitchen, like tables, and then like a pantry, and then like a couple fridges also. And then these people would get donations from like the restaurants around town, so they'd actually have really good food.
Nice.
So they'd have like pastas and chickens, and Redmond's a really nice area, so it had really good food. So some days I ate better than I would have like out here like normal.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And what they did is they would move every 3 months to different churches into the different areas. And so it was like, oh my gosh, like Redmond has like 1 million churches, you guys. This is like Sin City here in Reno, but in Redmond, it's like every block was a church. And I'm like, oh, So it's kind of cool that they had that, and maybe we don't have enough to sustain that. But I know we have a good amount of churches. So I'm like, I feel like we could figure this out, and somebody contact me, help me out.
That's why I wanted to invite you here.
Plug.
To spread awareness.
If you're listening and you're feeling the story, and if
you have any contacts out there that could
just
help.
us.
Yeah.
You know what, like even if you think that these people deserved it, like, don't. You should think about it, see it from a different perspective, and then give a little, because a little goes a long way, in all honesty. And if you're out here and you're listening to our podcast currently, and you have any contacts, like Jarek said, you can always contact us through the contact information below. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment, and our Insta plugs. So I mean,
or Facebook, we'll tag her, and then
Yes, please.
you can just message her directly. If
Yeah.
you want to talk about.
Yeah. And I don't even know if we mentioned it, but I contacted Jared because for the video journals, we would like to compile them and show you the story of how everything happened from the moment, like being in Reno in our apartment. I have videos of our cute little apartment to like moving to Washington to everything happening. So if you want to, further follow my story, I had really cool experiences too, like a serving job. It was for a company called Tuxedos and Tennis Shoes, and it was like these grandest like parties. It was serving, and they did like auctions and weddings, so these really fancy events. And here I am, homeless, serving hors d'oeuvres to these really beautiful rich people. And like some of these auctions, they were doing it for good reasons. Like it was for the hospital and stuff. They were doing it for like medical equipment to help like Afghan stuff or whatever it was. And these people were buying like things like wine and vacations. And here they are spending like $6,000 on wine. And I'm like, I'm homeless, So those kind of like experiences too were weird for me. But like I was happy to be there because I was out of the car. But just thinking about how like the other 1% lives, and but being able to see these really cool events. Thank you, Abby, for giving me that job. She's actually in Carson now. Her family owns the company up there.
Oh, nice.
And my brother told me about it. And so it was in Seattle. So I went to like the orchestra hall. What was it called? The Band Royal Hall or something like that. And then just like these really cool venues. And so I got small little snippets. And I was at the volleyball tournament out in Sammamish. And so I was actually serving the people that paid like really expensive seats, like $600 per ticket or whatever it was. And then the volleyball people were like right there. And I'm like serving. And like, so these cool experiences, like I really did have. But, being homeless in addition. So just look for those videos. We're going to compile them, me and Jarek, and just try to create a story at least so you guys can see it from the beginning to like at least getting here. And it was a great moment because I got my apartment today. So it was kind of like a good end to like start this and today, and yeah, it's an exciting time. So this year is going to be like probably my best year because I'm going to push really hard to create something. I don't know what it's fully it, but it's going to be something.
But yeah. I love that. I love the like sometimes, God, I like to believe that God, if you don't believe in God or whatever, maybe the higher power or whatever you believe in, I believe that something out there puts you through things that you can't, that you can go through, that you can overcome. It really just depends on your choices during that time. But once you overcome, like I feel like you're meant to go and do something greater, just like this, like to be able to tell your story and then find the drive, the motivation, the fire to just ignite like a movement. Start a movement. Make sure that the other is being taken care of, because a lot of people take care of themselves first, and that's okay. But if you're well off and you're living life daily and you have all this extra cash, go help someone out. Like be a light in this darkness that encompasses our world.
Yeah, even if that's just giving food to them. Like it is so expensive to buy food package, like, and not ever really have a hot meal. Like buying the sandwiches and chips and everything, like not only was super unhealthy, like I'm a dancer and like for me that was kind of hard, and now I'm addicted to fast food again because it's just, there's nowhere for you to eat, and that was like the only hot things we could eat. So even if you just bring those people food, I know they're like trying to find people and stuff when they hand food out, but do it on the side, because I don't care. Like it's unfair for the government or the state.
Wait, what
or
do you mean
what
find people stuff?
So like there was people who will give like food plates downtown, but they don't have food permits, and they're just giving it to homeless people. And then
you need food permits to give
I
food
guess.
to homeless?
You need permits for everything.
For everything.
Like, even here?
Yeah. You can't even collect your own rainwater.
Big Brother's trying to keep you down.
Yeah,
man.
so they're just trying to create problems. And I'm like, I don't even care. Just hand some food out if you can, whatever it may be. Blankets and jackets, probably jackets for sure. Socks, sweaters. I love what they're doing with the trees, and they're putting like the jackets and
I saw that.
And the scarves and stuff. Like they really do need that. And it's just sad to think that, even like the government or what, or state or whatever it is. I'm like, don't know.
Yeah, I heard like socks are really good donations.
And underwear, I know it's weird, but like, underwear, because, things get dirty, and any type of hygiene products, if you wanted to give them deodorant or toothpaste, anything, even like dry shampoo for the women, because it's really hard for women out there. I had the money to buy like feminine products and things like that, but just even finding a bathroom, like I would literally dehydrate myself just so I wouldn't have to go to the bathroom. Like I would stop drinking as much water as I could. And so women are doing that out there. And then some of them don't even have money. Like I think tampons and pads should be free. Like they should be giving that out, because it's not fair for a woman to walk around and be unclean because she doesn't have access to that. So there's just certain things like you can do. And even if you're seeing somebody on the side of the road and you notice they're homeless, like even if you bought them like a tiny little bag of these small little travel things, because you don't want it to be too big, because if they have to carry it, that's also a difficulty. So small things, but there's little things we can do, and hopefully we can help each other.
Yeah. Okay, you don't have to give out food, or sorry, not food. You don't have to give out money, because like I think that's like what people generally think about first. Is like, I don't want to give this person money. Well, if you don't want to give them money, like use that same money to go, and because So the
Yeah.
general idea is like, I don't know what they're going to do with that money. Well, then go get them something that can
Absolutely.
be absolutely useful for them, like clothes or food
Chapstick.
or the little things. The little
I
things.
didn't even think about
matters.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your lips get so chapped out there. Like I was dehydrated, and like my lips would be maybe like a tiny little baby lotion, any of that, little wipes.
You know what? You know what a cool program would be, if you were able to get this
Yeah.
started, would be to, how like grocery stores, they'll have things that are like almost getting expired, and
Yes.
what they do, they just throw that stuff away. There's
Yeah, like-
restaurants out there that they'll cook food for the day, and then if they don't finish it, they'll throw it out. But
Yeah.
like those things that people like waste, those things that
I don't
they don't
understand
sell.
like why they just throw that
Yeah,
away.
like-
just give it away. I
You
mean,
should-
like I understand the liability of like somebody might get sick with that food and like get sued, but like
But I mean, if
Dude,
these
that's-
people are already homeless, like they're eating things that they probably shouldn't even be eating.
So
So you,
bad.
you might as well
Exactly.
take those foods that are almost expiring, or you're about to throw away, or you don't even need anymore, and you're not even second guessing it. There should be a program, because they do this I believe they do this across the pond here. They go in grocery stores. They give it back to the community.
They should, and absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I've worked at food banks around here in Reno, and like, yeah, they just throw a ton away that was donated if they don't have expiration dates, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is still good. And then they'll throw it in this big garbage can and then pour like rubbing alcohol over it so that people can't go fish for it, which is
Ah, that's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
I was like, are you kidding me? Because I was throwing it away. I was like, I'm gonna come back and grab this for the homeless people, And he's
Yeah.
all, oh no, we've dumped stuff on it, so you can't have it. I'm like,
That's messed
that's
up.
so messed up
Yeah.
when there's so many people that are hungry. So I don't know if there's a way we can change that, but I don't know.
I think the if you're listening out there, I really think that the idea of, oh, they didn't work hard for it, like that should go out the window. Like,
Absolutely.
once again, these people, like maybe it's what had happened to them, but maybe it's just happenstance. And like these people, they, I've seen all these videos, like, oh, this person, he dropped a wallet in front of this homeless guy, and the homeless guy's like, hey, you dropped your wallet, and the guy's like, you didn't take any of this money. He's like, no, this is your stuff. Like,
yeah.
like
People
should-
still have good hearts.
Yeah,
they
they
have
have-
morals.
there's morals, there's good hearts out there. Like, you should stop seeing the negative and just start seeing the positive, and like just start a simple like change of your mindset will definitely help the world go around a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this person may have like been down on their luck, but if you were to just help them out just a little bit, if everybody were to just like $5 is not even that much. Just go out, buy somebody something to eat, or go out and give them some clothes. Like it's not fair. It's not about like, oh, like they did this to themselves. It's not about that. It's about spreading good.
Yeah.
Being good and being the light in this darkness.
Yeah, just be there for people, and I think the world would be a better place. And I know it seems like far away, like all these changes and stuff, but if we really truly work on it, I mean, it's really not that far out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People always wish, oh, like I wish the world was a little bit better, but the world can start being better, starting with you.
Yeah, if you want to make something better, don't think about changing something because it makes your life better. Think about it for someone long term or somebody else. Do something nice, like those people leaving scarves. They made those scarves and left it for somebody else, and they, did that time, work, whatever it was. And if more people did that, it would just be so much better.
It's like that Michael Jackson song,
exactly. Man
Oh,
in the mirror, dude.
Man in the Mirror. Oh, I was about to sing that right quick.
I'm so bad at names. I don't know names of songs.
It's, you just got to make a change once in your life,
I think so. And people should dance more, take care of their bodies, eat better. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
take
this
care
year
of
is going to be
yourself,
about
yeah.
fixing this temple from the fast food.
And then, change starts with yourself also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're out here, if you're listening, thank you for listening in, but also like take a minute to go help someone out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
big
thank
or
you
small.
for sharing your story with us.
Totally.
And you can hear more about it, or you can see once the documentary is out,
You'll see.
hopefully in the next few months.
Yes.
And yeah, is there anything else you want to say about?
Me or him?
Yeah,
I
or
don't
if
know.
you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Use
Just-
us as an outlet,
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
because I don't know I don't know how many views we get, but normally like around 10. But
I'm
for
one
the
of
10
them. I'm
people-
one of them.
For the 10 people that are listening, well, 9 now.
9 now.
I'm
I'm here.
Because she's listening. She's
Yeah,
right here.
just here now. But like for the 9 people that are listening,
Yeah, well, if you guys are just looking for a change in your life and, you haven't ever tried dancing or you want to, we have that adult-based studio at the Reno Empire, and I open on Mondays and Wednesdays, so you can come and meet me or talk to me or whatever you want to do. And even if you have ideas about helping, I would love to hear it. So you guys can find me on Facebook or Instagram too, just Marissa Poe. I think that's about it. But
And if you want the plug, where do you work at?
Oh, me? Yeah. I work at Reef Guys and Sparks, so come and check me out. Tip me really well, because if you tip your bartender, you better tip your bud tender.
Hey. But also, if you feel like even if you don't think you can do anything, by sharing this video or sharing it to somebody who may have a little bit of power to help these people out, that'd be grand too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like things, this is not a hey like. Sure, yo, check it. No, it's a share this a little bit of light so that way we can help others out there. That's my request for you guys out there listening.
Oh, and also Our Town Reno, I'm also going to do a small little snippet documentary about being homeless and having our dogs. So I'm going to be doing that, I think, next week on Wednesday. I don't know when it's going to air, but it's just like a small little snippet and like a little bit more of like
this is going to air Monday. So
Monday.
Maybe.
So if you're listening
this is
on
before,
Monday,
for sure.
If you're listening this upcoming Wednesday,
upcoming Wednesday,
check it out.
2 days from now.
Yeah, they humanize also people, and they do stories on homelessness as well in Reno. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Cool,
but that's about it, I think.
All right,
that was awesome. I
yeah,
mean,
not bad.
I mean, it was dark, but
it was very dark.
It was good. It was
couple
good.
Tears, laughs, all good. And thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. I was excited and like really nervous. I'm still sweating.
Definitely enjoyed it, and our podcast is mainly about love, but the pursuit of happiness. And you know what? Like, there was that movie with Will Smith in it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's how I felt.
That's
like,
how I
seriously
envisioned this. I was just like.
I felt bad for him when he had a kid. Like there are people
that
like
movie
that.
Is like one of my favorite movies. It's
him
so
sleeping
sad.
in the closet. I love you, Will, if you see this. Him sleeping in that closet with that kid. I was like,
that scene in the bathroom when he was like
so
crying.
powerful. So
powerful. And he's a great actor.
See,
so
if y'all have not seen that movie,
movie,
The Pursuit of Happiness, watch it. Same but different.
Yeah.
Like you just, it's spread
movie,
spread
dude.
light. Because you never know. That person could be the next person that cures, world hunger or cancer or what have you.
You just never know.
Only takes one person to see or to hear.
No,
So,
just kidding.
Yeah, make a change.
You just never
Make a
know.
change.
For once in your life.
Thank you, yo, check it. I'm sorry. That's why I'm a dancer. I can't sing.
You can dance right now.
No, thank you.
Video.
I'm sweating and no. I can't do that. That is one of my things I'm be working on, more freestyle. I can definitely pick up choreography, but I think when you're being judged on your own body, like sometimes it takes a little while. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some lightning round questions.
I'm
Do you have
ready.
any questions, Christian?
Well, I mean, I got a lot of questions pertaining to what happened in your life. I guess I'll try to make it a little bit quick.
And just like quick answers too. Like you don't have to like.
Just
okay.
I guess I'll try and make it yes or no.
Okay.
So if someone were to come to you and needed a place to stay, how would you? I guess would you say yes or no?
Yes or no?
Would you say yes or no? Sorry.
Okay, I'll answer. What's the question?
Well, if someone were in need, and knowing what you've done now, would you help them? I guess that's a yes or no.
I would hope to say yes, but again, sometimes it's hard. Like when you live in an apartment or something and you try to take somebody in, then people start noticing things and they're like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard too, is other people complaining about it.
And it's tough too because it's like, it's sad to say, but you can't help everybody.
It is super true. And, a lot of times you do have to help yourself. And I know that sounds really harsh, but sometimes you do have to pull yourself out. And I would totally be willing to, but I have so many family members that are dealing with this same thing or addictions and things like that. And they're homeless and they would probably be the first ones. And I probably have such a long list that I don't know if I would just be like a random person, obviously. But
so you're trying to get everybody and make a program out there for these people.
I just want, them to take care of themselves and maybe have this program either run by itself or even be helping run it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know how much time I have, but I will put as much time and energy as I can into anything that I do. I try to do everything with excellence. And, maybe that's why it's pushed me so far, not only my dancing, but my life and, just moving up in life. And coming from a drug addict mother and father, and them not even finishing middle school and high school, and for me to go to college and study like architecture and interior design, that was already a feat for me. So, you know, I would hope I would want to help them, you know, but I think having a larger program is probably easier for me.
Gotcha.
So you can help more people that way.
Exactly,
Instead of just helping individual people.
Yeah, and the counseling and the energy and the nutrition and things that it takes to help build somebody else's life takes a lot of time and energy, and sometimes like you can't do it on your own. So
Gotcha. So then,
I know that wasn't like short.
no worries.
Yeah, definitely not a quick answer, but it's good.
Let me ask another quick question then.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it's quicker. Sorry, Jay.
You're
Now
good.
I got all the questions. So then you do have a college degree, yes?
So yeah, I have my residential planning diploma and most of my bachelor credits. I
Gotcha.
quit because it's like $60,000 in student loans, so I cut that bad boy off.
So I mean, like, you know, just an example is that like it doesn't matter where you are in life, like things can happen, and
Yeah.
you might be on the road to success, but you just never know.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, people. All right, go ahead, Jay.
All
Sorry.
right. Well, this one's a fun one.
I hope so. Just kidding.
It's a fun and sad at the same time. But
Okay.
you said earlier that you had some days you had like really good food at the shelter.
Yeah.
Which food is like the best food that you had?
I loved the chicken dinners and like they had
Chicken
really
dinner's
good
always good.
potatoes and like string beans, and then I love bread, and they had all kinds of bread. I don't know what it is, but the bakeries loved giving the bread, and then like Panera and stuff around town would give you some
Ooh.
of the desserts. So they had like just
Nice.
cool like small programs, and like the
Damn.
pastas were always delicious, never overcooked. So it was just like, so those days and those nights were really great, but then there was times like I don't even want to say this because it sounds bad, but sometimes you're worried about people and their cleanliness and things like that,
Yeah.
and like digging into the food
Oh.
and stuff. And oh my gosh, now I probably sound like a bitch, but
I mean, it's like it's a real
It's-
concern, you know.
it is
I
a
mean,
real
like-
concern because people are carrying things, you know, because
Yeah.
they've been out there a long time, and you know, some people have used drugs. But yeah, the food was amazing, and you know, most of the time we just bought food. But
Okay, that's cool.
yeah, so we didn't have a bad time with that, but I know other people do. So
Oh, so knowing what you know now, if you were to go back to that moment to decide to go up to was it Washington? Would you go? Would you do it again? Would you do all? I guess my question is, would you do it all over again?
I learned so many things about myself and how to survive. So I'm not sure if I would fully go back, but I would definitely rethink about who I was trusting to rent from.
Yeah.
Make sure I got it like from an actual person. I really think getting things from family members, you know, they definitely want to help you out, but they really expect you to basically do what they want. If you don't hit that certain mark, then they'll just throw you away and take back twice as much is kind of what I feel. But so I think the experience was really good, and I think it was necessary for me to have, but I would probably never
Want to
to go back through that again, because I loved my dancing here. I was still with the studio, but I think this probably will create something else and like that drive inside of me. So like half and half. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
like I feel like when you get into like that dark place, you know, like it
Yeah.
kind of forces you to grow, and
Yeah.
like you're doing pretty well now.
Yeah. I mean,
and-
nobody ever wants to go back and do like
The hard stuff.
the hard stuff, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's just like I was just wondering because you know like something positive did come out of that negativity that you were undergoing, and
Yeah.
you know and you now you know like what to do the next time if
Yeah.
if anybody ever needs any tips or tricks, or if anybody ever needed like guidance, you have that experience, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I've met multiple like homeless people, and I've actually given them tips. I'm like, hey, I was sleeping in my car, and their face immediate is like, what, you? And so that's why I also want to change the face of homelessness. There's not one face that looks a certain way. So I wanted you guys to know, you know, we're out there.
yeah, I mean, they don't all look the same, you know.
They wear
Some of
regular
them
clothes
just
like you and
yeah,
me.
exactly, and
Yeah.
they could be homeless.
It's true.
That's cool.
Any
though.
other questions,
Anything
Christian?
else?
I thought it was you question.
Yeah, I'm
you
trying
asked,
to think.
I ask.
Trying to think of a cool
okay.
question, man.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you can ask us
Do
questions.
you do photos also, or
Oh,
videos, or
I-
is this like, how do you guys know each other? Like, I don't even know.
Oh, he's my
that.
best friend.
Yeah.
We've been
Yeah, we've known each
BFFs?
other for
since like ninth grade,
yeah.
which is like
I don't know.
yeah.
we
you
we
know,
wouldn't
it's
want
way
to say
back
how
when.
old we are, but
Yeah, we do.
yeah, we're both 30s.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I'm freshly 30 though. So.
Me
Yeah.
too, just September. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm a little older
I'm
than
a
you.
Yeah, he's a
Virgo.
little
I'm
bit
August.
older. Yeah.
Oh, you are older.
Yeah, yeah.
No, just
Dang.
kidding. No, 30s is gonna be a great year. Stop telling us that we're old and shit.
Actually,
Okay,
30's is great.
30's great.
It's
30s.
like
30's
I
the
feel
new
like
20. What are y'all talking
late
about?
late
Yeah.
20s to
23.
like early 30s is like the time when you like figure yourself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I do, I
Yeah.
feel like way more empowered in myself, and there was just things about myself I didn't like, and there's at this point you're like, this is me, bitch.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
you
Take
have
it
more
or leave
direction.
it.
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
know?
'cause when I was like before I turned 27, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I was just kind of,
Oh,
it's
really?
like the typical
Yeah.
like, oh, you go to college and then you find a good job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
That's
and
kind of
then when I
me.
did that, I was like,
No,
there
what?
has to be more than just
There
like this
has
is
to be.
hella
Yeah.
boring.
because like oh yeah, I was like, this is boring. You know what I mean?
And like staying in the same job for 30 years in an
Yeah.
office is that's what I thought you were supposed to do, and I'm like, oh my god.
and it's crazy too.
Killing
Because
me.
like I was at DMV this morning, and that place, like for some reason, the workers there are like very, I don't know, it just come off like very rude to me.
Yeah.
They've dealt with so many
Yeah.
people saying like, why do I have to pay this? That they're
Yeah,
like,
probably. I mean, but like at the same time, I'm like, damn, that's kind of
that it looks draining, those kind of jobs. That's why I love being creative and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And selling legal cannabis. Everybody's so happy most of the time.
I know, like, I'm getting my weed.
I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
they're like so excited to walk out. So, and I really do believe this is a holistic way to like treat your body and have fun, both ways. So, and I really felt like smoking a lot of weed while we were out there really helped us. So, yeah.
I bet. I'm sure
It did
that
help.
But yeah,
so bad.
to answer your question, I am also a photographer, but more so a videographer.
Okay, cool.
I love capturing like awesome things. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome. I would love to do a photo shoot with like the red handprint over our face.
ooh, that'd
so
be
it's for
awesome.
the missing indigenous women, children, and men.
Ooh, that's cool.
But I would love to do it with some of my friends and have different colors because, I mean, we're all different people and all of us are going missing. It's not just that, but a lot of the times people do forget about Native American people and, we're here and it's not in the past and we're here. And a lot of people think like when I walk around, I'm Hispanic, which is totally fine, but, they forget that we're still here. And like when I tell them that also, I break another stereotype or barrier because they have this mindset of what we look like or talk like or something like that. And, it's just not that. So this is 21st century. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
It makes it kind of sad because like the world is slowly losing its magic, and it's not just like Native American people, they have like this mystical power or whatever. It's just
I do though.
you
I can make it rain.
know what I'm saying?
kidding.
Like the world is losing just that innocence that it once had.
Yeah.
Just because like, oh, we want more of this or more, we want that, more of that. Like we're losing like indigenous people, not just here in America, but South America,
Do you think-
the
Everywhere.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Do you
stuff
think
like
that's
that.
only the reason because like we're older now? Like when we were younger, we didn't really have to think about this kind of stuff.
No, yeah. And now
It's
I'm
probably like I think it's for me. It's probably like it's always been there.
Yeah.
But then, like, as you grow older, you kind of see it more because, like, when you're younger, like, all you worry about is like school and
Yeah.
like,
that's it.
the weekend.
Yeah.
Now I really worry about the apocalypse. I'm like, oh shit. I like didn't think it was real, and then they're like, yeah, the earth is dying. I'm like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like
It's
we better figure this out. Fix the water. Like stop letting them have those pipelines. Oh my gosh, the oil is bad, and our water. Like I can't believe all that trash in the ocean. That
Yeah.
is so sad.
Yeah.
I
It's
watched
gonna
this.
be a problem.
I guess we're gonna move on to the next segment of like the interesting that you
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Is that your
that's
next
fine.
episode?
That was a good transition.
It's like interesting. Okay, so I was the most interesting thing I found this week or this previous week was I saw this video of a beluga whale grab this guy's GoPro and like he takes it and he goes underneath the water and then he comes back and he gives the GoPro
Oh my
back to the kayaker. It's cute, right? Sounds
Yeah.
cute, right? But as I was watching this video, there was more to it for me at least.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching this and this kayaker was in the bay. Like, well, it looks like a bay. And as the GoPro is descending to the like bottom of the little bay there's all this trash. Just it's like covered in trash, and I was flabbergasted. I was like, "Holy crap! This is the planet that we live in, and here we are worried about like, homelessness and all this other stuff, but we don't really think about the planet itself. We're killing. Not only are we killing ourselves, we're killing the planet, and like it just threw me for a loop. There's this beautiful, majestic creature and it's swimming in all this gunk and disgustingness,
sad.
and
And
you're
like
just
that
like
sad video of like that turtle too, that with the straw.
with the
stuck
straw
in-
through his
That
nose.
straw thing. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah,
that
dude.
kills me. But it's just like there's so many smaller plastic things that we don't think
Yeah.
about like that. And the fact that like being homeless made me feel sad too because we need biodegradable, like reusable plastic things because every time we'd buy a sandwich it was in a plastic container. Every time we bought something to drink, it was in a container.
Yeah.
And we had to throw it away.
Yeah.
And we did contribute to that because of homelessness. So if they can create a way for homeless people to have water bottles that are biodegradable, that would
Yeah.
be awesome.
And it's cool that like Starbucks is doing no straws now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a step forward.
It is
which
definitely.
See,
Yeah.
we can combat this. We can combat, trash and homelessness, and with one stone.
Yeah.
If the government or if somebody out there created a program where they provide jobs to homeless people for just picking up trash,
That would be awesome.
I
You know
think
what
there's
I'm
a
saying?
place that did that. I saw it on Facebook. They
Sorry,
were
I
paying
burped.
homeless for like $10.
I heard
Yeah.
about them giving homeless people joints as well for one bag of trash somewhere. I can't remember
Ooh.
where it was. That would be perfect.
there you
That-
go.
You know what
sounds
I
cool.
mean? I mean, I would have done it. I would have been like
Training,
5
let's
joints. I'm
go.
all 5 bags. You know.
I feel like if they did that to the whole community, people were like, "Oh, yo, I got this bag of
I
trash.
know, I know. I got this trash for my house.
Exactly.
Can I get a
Right from home, you're like, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
You know, but. Yeah, I just think we need to take care of the world and we need to force the corporations to make better products for throwing away, like the soda people and like, you know, whatever it is.
Aluminum, all
Like,
that
yeah,
stuff.
we need to like force them because they're obviously not listening and they are the big contribution to killing this world and it's not fair, you know?
Well, I
So
mean,
somebody force them.
if people really like truly understood the world, there's more of us than there is those companies. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they need us more than we need that. Well, we need the food, but we don't need
Yeah.
to like, contribute to the and I mean if you're one of those people who can't just get up really quickly and just toss it into the correct bin, come on, do a
Yeah.
little bit better. Do a little bit better, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a pretty good podcast.
Not
Yeah.
bad, huh?
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
I didn't think I was gonna have enough to say, so it was
Oh yeah,
fine.
it generally it's like that in the beginning. And
Okay.
you're like,
Woo.
oh, I got all these things to ask, got all these things to answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was very fun for my first podcast. I know it's really heavy, but
Yeah,
I can't wait to work more with you, and we'll
course.
start working through this. And it was wonderful meeting you, Chris.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
and maybe we'll do another one one of these
yeah,
times.
we'll have you again.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. We love having like repetitive guests out
Yeah,
as well.
and
Yeah.
we'll give you an update when it gets better.
Yeah.
So
You know?
maybe me and Noelle can come on together because I actually dance with Noelle. So.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
My little
Yeah.
Noe, she's in Hawaii right now, but
Ooh,
It's
hopefully
okay.
Shout
She'll
out
come
to
back.
Noel.
Shout out to
bye,
you.
babe.
Yeah. I think like me and Jarek started this podcast because we want to help the world.
Yes.
Not just because like if we help one person, cool. But if we help like masses, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, and I love
because-
that.
You know?
Yeah, that's why I hope like eventually we get more viewers so we can spread the message.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
just 9 people out there.
Yo, check it. It's about
But shout outs to those 9 people that
Thanks, guys.
stay tuned
Yes.
regularly.
Thank you for coming this far on the podcast and listening to the very end of it. We much appreciate you.
Is there anything else? Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I
You
think
want to
that's
do
it.
some shameless plugging?
I don't think so. I think I
Not
did
yet.
it all. Yeah,
Not
that's
yet.
about it. So
My
just look
shameless
for it.
plug. Help people out there. Be the light in the world. Shameless plug.
Ditto.
Boom, boom.
Hashtag ditto.
Hashtag make a movement.
Hashtag stoners are not lazy.
They're
Stop,
just stoned.
stop that
That's,
misconception for
yeah,
sure.
that's a very
Most of us dance or
Gener-
smoke, just so
yeah.
you know.
Hashtag don't
That's
judge a
good.
book by its cover.
exactly.
Yes, I love that. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's like the tagline for this one.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's like the main theme.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thank you again for listening in.
All right.
And we appreciate you.
Thanks. See you guys later.
Later.
Peace.